Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how we can create a JFrame based application in Netbeans. So basically we're trying to design an application which has an interface something like this one. Alright, so there will be several fields such as name, age or CGPA, and users will be able to write in those text fields. Okay, so just like that, and then they will have options to press several buttons. So here I have designed some buttons. One is named show, the other one is show to, and another one is known as next frame. So basically they will have different features. All right, so I'm going to explain all of them. So our target is to build an application which has an interface such as this one, and then we will write some codes to demonstrate the functionalities of those buttons. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project for this one, and this will be Java with ant type application. So Java application, and then I'm going to name it JFrame. Okay, JFrame app. All right, and I don't need to create an automatic main class, so I'm just gonna untick that and click finish. Okay, so here is my here is my project file. So now I'm going to create my JFrame. Okay, so how can I do that? So I'm going to click on source package and then new, and then JFrame form. Okay, so since my application will have an interface, so I have to create a JFrame form. Okay, so this is the JFrame form, and I'm going to name it as, let's say I'm going to name it as frame 1. Okay, and finish, and I'll have the form just within a few moments, I guess. Yeah, so there's the form. Okay, so this is just a simple JFrame form. You can actually increase its width and height just by dragging your mouse cursor of those boundaries. Okay, and there are some buttons and labels and text fields over there on the right side of my screen, which you can select and put them into the interface, okay, into your JFrame. Okay, so the interface I'm trying to create will have some type of buttons and some text fields and also some simple texts. Okay, so let's check how we can do that. So I'm going to put simple what can I say, I'm going to put some simple text fields. Okay, so here I'm just going to click on the text field, and then I'm gonna place it over there. Okay, so see, it's that simple. So just like that, I'm going to put some more text fields in my application. Okay, so let's not copy that, I'm just gonna take that again so that their naming conventions are different. Okay, so I think I'm going to stay with 3 text fields. Okay, so I'll also need different type of functionalities, and that is known as a drop down menu, but here you can see that it is known as the combo box. Okay, so I'm going to take that combo box. Okay, I'm going to take that combo box and place it over there. Okay, so till now I have 4 different components. So 3 of them are just simple text fields, and the other one is a combo box. Okay, I'm also going to take some text fields just over here. Okay, so let's take them later. Okay, let's consider it later. Okay, so you can see that by default these text fields have default name. Okay, inside that, So you can actually remove that text inside that those text fields. So if you click on if you just right click on those text fields and click on edit text, okay, then you can just erase the text, okay, just like that. Okay, and here in the combo box, it doesn't have any kind of text inside that, but since it's a combo box, we'll have to populate the combo box. All right, so I'm going to show you within a minute how we can populate the that combo box. Alright, so now I'm going to populate that combo box. So I will right click on that and go to properties, and here you can see there's a field called model. So these are the basically this field is indicating what your items will be for that specific combo box. Okay, I'm going to edit that. So this combo box will be used for the different semesters for a student. Okay, so I'm going to write them as first, second, and third and fourth. Okay, I'm going to put just 4 semesters. Okay, so third and fourth. Okay, you'll be able to understand what I'm doing just within a moment. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as I pressed OK, and the text over there has already changed. Okay, now it's shown as first. It's basically the very first item of my combo box, and the later the other items will also be available if I press this combo box when I will eventually run the form. Okay, so let's just put some text beside those besides those components, so that we can understand what we're trying to do. So these will be labels. So just click on the label thing and then place it over there, and another one, and another one, and finally another one. Okay, all right, so let's edit that. So okay, so the very first field will be name. Okay, and the second one will be age, the third one will be CGPA. So basically the form we're trying to make will take inputs from a student, where the student will input his name, his or her name and age and CGPA and his semester. Okay, so this should be known as semester. All right, okay, so very basic form. And now what we'll do, we'll take a button. Okay, so we'll take a button and place it over there, and we'll change the text on this button. We'll call it okay, show in console. Okay, so basically, all right, so I have just a bit of spelling mistake, I guess. Okay, so whenever I will press this button, then whatever the student inputs in those fields and selects the semester, all of those things will be shown in my console. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do by this application. Okay, so the student will enter his name, age, CGPA and semester, and whenever he presses this button, all of those will be shown in this console screen over there, right at the bottom of my screen. All right, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so till now all the things I have done using just simple drag and drop. So now I'm gonna write some codes. All right, so let's write some codes, and now I'm going to go to this button over here. Okay, and I'm going to double click on that button. Okay, double click, just the simple user left mouse button, and double click on this button over there, show in console. And if I double click on that, then it will take me to the designated space for that specific button inside the source code. Okay, all right, so I'm going to write some codes here, and So what I'm trying to do is that I'm going to press that button and all the infos will be shown in the console screen. Okay, so what I need to do is that I want to take some variables to put those texts, okay, the name, age, CGPA, etc. So let's do it. And remember, all of these are text fields. Okay, since all of these are text fields, so anything that will be given on these text fields will be considered as strings. Okay, they will be string inputs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a string variable, let's call it name, and now what I'm going to do is, so in this string name variable, I want to put the value which will be given in this text field. Okay, so I need to know the variable name of this text field. So just right click on that and you can click on change variable name, and there's the variable. Okay, there's the variable name. So just copy it and go to your source code and then paste it. Okay, and then there is a method which you will be using to get the input text. Okay, and it is a simple method known as get text. Okay, yeah, get text and a semicolon, and that's done. Okay, so whatever the user inputs in that field, that will be taken as the input, and that will be put inside this variable over here, string name. Okay, so similarly I'm going to do it for the next one too. And for the age, I have to check the variable name, yeah, jtext field 2, and just like that. Okay, I'm done. So similarly for the last one, I'll call it CGPA, and so basically this will be jtext field 3, and yeah, okay, I'm done. So all of those 3 fields, all of them were text fields, and since all of them were text fields, so anything given here will be considered as strings. So I created 3 string variables and then put the values inside those variables. Okay, and for the last one, you can see that it's a combo box. Okay, but anything written here in the combo box will also you can actually also convert it to a string type variable. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So let's call it string, and I'm gonna name the variable as semester, so sim. Okay, and let's take the variable name of that combo box. All right, so for combo box you can't just use get text. Okay, see, I can't even get the suggestion for get text because the get text can only be used in case of text fields. Alright, so you can't use that for a combo box. For a combo box, to get the selected item, you can actually get a built-in method which is known as get selected item. Okay, get selected item, but this is not a string type variable. Okay, so to convert it to string, what you can do is that you can use a simple toString method which will convert the item to a string type variable. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so just like that, we've taken 4 different variables and we have put the values of those text fields and those that combo box inside those variables. So since I have the input values inside those variables, so if I can just print them right now, since I'm going to show them in my console, so it's quite simple. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to just put a simple system out println, and I'm going to put the variables over there. Okay, so just to make it clear, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put name at first, and then okay, Okay, so basically I'm just following a simple convention to print all of those variables. You can actually use different types of printing convention if you like. Alright, so let's try it out. So now I'm going to run this and I'm going to show you how we can actually see the outputs in this console. Okay, so let's run the file. Okay, so here's the app that we have just built. So now I'm going to put some names over there. Let's say the name is Rakib and age is, let's say, 27, and CGPA is 3.41 suppose, and the semester is third. Okay, so now if I press on show in console, then it should output all of these values in my console. Alright, yeah, just like that. So Rakib 27, 3.41 and third. So these are the values that I have put over there, right? So this is how you can actually build a very simple app and show all of those input values into your console. Alright, so and you can also check another thing, that the printing convention over here, all of those values coming just one after another in a single row, that's because I've just put it in that specific convention. So if you want to put it in any other convention, that's also correct. Okay, the thing we are trying to actually do is that we're trying to print all of those input values in our console, and that's it. Okay, so next thing, we're going to try a different thing. Now what we're going to try is that we are not going to print all of those values into our console. We will be trying to print all of those values into some different text fields if possible. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so now we're going to take some of those text fields. I'm going to show you what I want to do using those text fields just within a moment. So let's take 4 different text fields. Okay, and I want to move them a bit, I guess. Yeah, so let's just increase the width a bit and let's move it here. Okay, I also want to just, okay, sorry, so I mistakenly double clicked on that. So I also want to click the text inside those text fields, so just like that. Okay, alright, so what I want to do right now is that I want to show the name, age, CGPA and semester, whatever is given on these fields over here. I want to show them inside those fields over there on the right side. Okay, so these will be my outputs. Okay, just for your understanding, I'm going to take a label over here and I'm going to call it outputs. Okay, so that you can understand that what I'm trying to do. So whatever is given here, I want to show them as outputs on the right side of my text fields. All right, okay, so let's take another button. Okay, here's another button, and I'm going to change the text, and it will be known as show in text fields. Alright, so show in text fields. So basically what I'm indicating is that whenever I press that button, all of those input values should be shown as the output in those text fields on the right side of my application. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So as usual, I have to write codes inside that button. So I'll just double click on that, and it will take me to the designated place for writing my code. And as usual, just like the previous one, I will need to take some string variables to keep the values, the input values. So I'm just going to copy all of those. Okay, I have already done that for my previous task, so I'm just going to copy them. Alright, so just like that. Okay, so another thing is that don't be confused that I have used the same names here, string name, and there is also another string name. These won't conflict with one another, since they are inside individual private methods. Okay, these methods are private, so this will not be an issue even if those those names are actually same. Okay, so let's continue. So previously we just wanted to show the values of those variables in our consoles, just like that. Okay, but now what we're trying to do is we're trying to show the values of those variables inside the text fields. All right, so what we need to do is we need to write some very simple stuffs. So let's write them down. So here you can see that these fields over there also have some type of variable name. So jtext field 4. Okay, so this will be basically jtext field 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so I'm just going to print that paste that jtext field 4, and then I'm going to press a dot so that it gives me a suggestion of all possible methods. So now I'm going to call another method known as setText. Okay, setText, and inside the setText method you should just put the variable name of whatever you are trying to show inside that text field. So I want to show the name, so I'm going to write name over there, and for the next one the process will absolutely be similar, and inside that I want to show the age. And for the next one, so just notice that I'm just changing the text field variable name, and I'm just changing the parameter inside the bracket. Alright, so I'll be done with this within a few moments, I guess. Yeah, so that's it. That's basically it. So now if I run this, you'll be able to see that anything that I give as inputs, they will be shown as the output whenever I press this button. Okay, so let's check it out. So this time let's see, the name will be something like Zach. Okay, and age will be 37, and CGPA is 3.67, and semester is 4th. So alright, so now if I click on this, it will show all of these stuffs into my console, but I don't want to do this. I want to see all of those stuffs in the outputs over here, okay, in those text fields. So let's see if we can actually do that. Okay, so just like that, you can see that whenever I just press this button, all of those stuffs which were given as inputs, they are now shown as the outputs. Okay, and you can also check the this button too if you want. So if I click on show in console, it will just print all of those stuffs. Okay, so till now I have shown you two different ways to manipulate your JFrame. One is how you can show the input values into your console, and how you can show your input values in separate text fields. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we want to show all of those values in a different JFrame form. Okay, so we don't want to stay in this form. Okay, we want to show the values in a different form now. So let's see how we can do that. Alright, so now I want to show my input values in a separate JFrame. Okay, so for that I will have to create another JFrame just like the previous one. Alright, so let's name it as frame 2, since the previous one was frame 1, so I'm going to name it as frame 2, and I'll just create some fields over there. So one is so there will be some labels, just so that you don't get confused what I'm trying to do, and there will be some text fields as usual. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is that I want to show my input values this time into those text fields, but the difference is that previously I did it on the same form, okay, the same JFrame form, but this time I want to do it in a separate form. So I'm just indicating all of those labels and text fields, etc., so that you don't get confused. Alright, so let's just increase the width a bit, and let's just delete the text inside those text fields. Okay, so whenever you are deleting the text, you are actually clearing the space inside that text field. You are not actually erasing the variable name, because if you can just if you just go to the change variable name, and you can see that the variable name is still there, right? You can just delete the variable name. So whenever you are clicking on edit text, it just means that whatever text you want to show in here by default, okay, you are actually clearing this and that text, because by default you want to just make it look like a simple text field which doesn't have anything inside that. Okay, all right, so this is my new form, frame 2. So now I'll go back to my frame 1, and I'm going to create another button and put it right over there, and I am also going to change the name, show in, okay, so show in frame 2. All right, so whenever I click on this button, this time I'll be redirected to the other frame, the frame 2, and all those input values will be shown in the text fields that I have just created in frame 2. Okay, so let's see how I can actually do that. Okay, alright, so since I'm going to click on that button to do my intended work, so I need to write the codes inside the inside that button. Alright, so I'm going to double click on that, so it will take me to the designated place, and just like before, just like the previous two tasks, I have to take the input values to and put them inside some variables. So I'm just going to copy and paste that part just like before, and yeah, I'm done. Okay, so now that I have all the values inside some string variables, so now I have to do something with those variables. So in my previous two tasks, in one of those tasks I just showed the variable values in my console, and in another one I showed the values inside some text fields inside my original form. But now I want to show the values inside the values in some text fields, but in a separate form, not in the same form. Okay, so I have to show them on frame 2. So how can I do that? So only one line of code will be different right now. So in this part I'm going to write something new. So just check it carefully. So I'm going to write new. Okay, I'm going to write new, and then I'm going new is a keyword, and I'm going to write the frame name, the new frame name, which is known as frame 2 in my case, and then I want to pass the variable names. Okay, so the variables are name, age, CGPA, and SIM. Okay, so I want to pass those variables into my new frame. I want to pass those variables, the values, whatever is whatever inside those variables, I want to pass them to my new frame over there. Okay, so new frame 2, and then I want to show that form. Okay, I want to display that form, okay, in front of the users. So how can I do that? So there's a very simple method which is known as set visible. Okay, which is known as set visible. Okay, so it's not giving me any kind of suggestions, so I guess there's something there could be something wrong with this. So let me just check it. Alright, so till now it's not giving me any kind of suggestions. So I guess there's because that I still haven't set my frame 2. Okay, I set up my frame 2. So whenever I'm ready, whenever my frame 2 is ready, then I guess this error will just go off all by itself. Okay, so let's do it. Set visible, and the value inside it will be true. So that's basically indicating that I want to display this new frame over there. Okay, so that's why I have included true as the parameter of this method right there, set visible. Okay, and you can see that, yeah, it's giving me a suggestion that create constructor frame 2 in frame 2. So it's basically indicating that whatever type I'm using over there, it's still not there in frame 2. Okay, I have to create it so that this error is recognized basically. Okay, so still now this frame 1 cannot recognize this convention over there. Okay, so I have to create this convention, create a constructor in my frame 2, and then this error will go off. Okay, so let's do that. So now I'll move on to frame 2, and here's the design that I have already created. And now I have to write some codes inside the constructor. Okay, inside this constructor over there. So as you can see, the default constructor is parameterless. Okay, so I have to do something here, because in the actual frame, the type I used here, it actually has four different types of variables. I mean, there are 4 parameters. All right, so I have to do something similar in case of this one. Okay, so let's just do that. So inside that, I'm gonna create those 4 parameters. So all of those were string type. So string CGPA and string SEM. Okay, all right, so this is my constructor, parameterized constructor, and there is by default a method which is known as init components or initialize components. Okay, so we won't do anything with that. It is basically indicating that all the components should be initialized when this form actually runs. All right, so now what I want to do is that I want to show the input values in those text fields, right? So I just need to follow the same thing that I have been doing. So I need to know the variable names over there, and I just need to put some set text method over there. Okay, set text, and the first one will be name. Okay, so let's just copy paste it so that it saves my time. And yeah, just change the text field variable names and also the parameter names. Okay, all right, so now let's move into frame 1. Okay, it's still showing the error, so let me see what I have done wrong. All right, so let me check this file first. Okay, so there is an error. So basically I don't need this line over here, because I have already called my frame 2 from my frame 1. That's what I have been trying to do. I want to show my inputs from frame 1 on frame 2, so I have to call the frame 2 from frame 1. So I don't need this explicit call over here, so I can just comment that out. Okay, so yeah, I have just fixed that. Now I will go back to my frame 1. Okay, so okay, you can see right now that previously there was an error showing on this whole line. Okay, so now the error is gone, since I have already created the necessary constructor, and I have also commented out this line. Okay, so that's the clash actually, because if we keep this line over there and this line over here, so these two are basically indicating the same thing. So you can't just do that, you have to keep one and delete the other. So since I'm calling the frame 2 from frame 1, so I don't need to keep this visibility parameters over visibility method over here. Okay, this set visible method over here, so I can just comment that out and I can just call the frame 2 from frame 1. Okay, okay, so here is an error. So the true it's all of the letters should be small letters. Okay, so now my error is gone. Okay, so what it will do is that whenever I will press the button, whenever I press the this button show in frame 2, then it will get the text from those text fields and put them inside the string variables, and then it will pass those variables, variables as parameters to that constructor frame 2. Okay, and all of those values will be shown in the text fields of that frame 2. Okay, just right there. So I've already written the code for this part, the text fields and set text and everything. So now let's just run the form. Okay, I'll run it from frame 1 since that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so let's say that the name is Zach and the age is 24 and CGPA is 3.11 suppose, and semester is 3rd. Okay, so now if I click on show in frame 2, you'll see that another frame will come and all of those values will be visible in the frame 2. Okay, yeah, just like that. So there is another frame and all of those text over there which were given as inputs, now they are shown as the outputs in a separate frame. Alright, so that's what I have been trying to do, but you can see that there is some type of bug, is that whenever I click on this one, when this new frame comes, the old frame still remains over there. So if you want, you can just hide the original form. So let's see how we can do that. So let's cut all of those forms. So if you want to hide the original form whenever you are going into the new one, or basically the previous form, so what you can do is that you can just use simple this keyword, which is indicating which is referencing to the current form you are working on, and then you will just write the method and put the value as false. Okay, so that means that the current form will be turned off and you will not be able to see the form anymore once you hit that specific button. Okay, so let's try again. It just takes some time. Okay, so let's see the if the name is okay, so let's say the name is Zach again and age is 26 maybe, and CGPA is 3.76 and semester is 2nd. So whenever I press on this button over there, you can see that I will be shown a completely new window over there, and this window will be gone. Okay, yeah, just like that. So all of those input values are now shown as outputs in this form over there, and the previous window is actually gone now. Okay, so this is how you can actually hide the previous window whenever you are moving into a new window. Okay, so I have basically shown three different types of manipulation of a simple JFrame. The first one was how you can actually show the inputs inside your console, and the second one was how you can show your inputs into separate text fields in the same form, and the final one was how you can show the inputs in separate text fields in a different JFrame form. Okay, so that's all for this tutorial. Thank you.